Brumbaugh, who now gets it to Kempton, back to Brumbaugh, back to Kempton. Kempton again gets the baseline, stops for a second. Adams challenges, but Adesi there again to clean up the mess. And that one's on target, and it goes in.
Hello.
Are they going to count it? They do.
Wow.
Holy shnikes, Austin Adams saying, I do a lot of favors for you, don't I? I love it. And that's how we end the first half. Austin Adams from about 80 feet gets it in the bucket without the backboard. How you doing? 24-22 is your score at the half. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be fun right here on the Toledo Sports Network. All right, now Pinkelman set the bar high for himself. I want to see somebody throw it off the bounce.
Here you're going to get it.
He's going to go up.
Oh!
Logan Pinkelman!
Wow.
Who says white men can't jump?
Wow.
My man just did a 360.
Gee, I wonder.
So it's 102-94. Going to need some miracles now for D4. That one rims out. Garlinger rebounds it, gets it up the floor to Pullman. Pullman goes for the oop. Oh! And Caleb Pullman finds Pinkelman, and that'll do it. What a way to finish. Caleb Pullman to Logan Pinkelman to finish this puppy and his basketball season on an exclamation point, if I do say so myself, Mikey. 104-94, your final. D3, they get to sweep tonight, Mikey. And here's the kick. And it's going to go about the 20. And he picks it up at about the 16-yard line. He's got a hole. And there's Duncan. And he brings it across midfield. And he's going to take it to the 30, the 20, the 5, and he's in. And just like that, Pat, about an 84-yard kickoff return on the opening kick from Adam Duncan. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, Mick, it was something we talked about in the open. This team was ready to come in here and play tonight. They have no fear. They played a lot of tough competition early this year, so you can't really take too much away from that 1-2 record, given the teams that they faced. Not scoring a touchdown since the first game of the season against Perrysburg, and they just absolutely fooled Central's defense on that one. Nobody was on Mr. Boykin. He had a big game last year against these guys, and wow, what a way to start the game if you're the Whitmer Panthers. That's exactly right. They both went over 1,000 yards rushing in the regular season. Keep in mind, too, that these guys had the best scoring defense, so I really think we're going to see a lot of good defensive plays tonight. We've got playmakers on both sides of the ball on that end, but Parker and Siefker are definitely their bread and butter. Siefker had 4 touchdowns last week on the ground, 1 through the air, and he kicked a 38-yard field goal, and their 72-0 win over Clearview, so they're really going to have to locate where he is tonight with the ball in his hands. Well, they ran into a buzzsaw tonight. I mean, give credit to this Ottawa-Glandorf team. They're a very complete team. You know, sometimes you see a team that's only got 1 or 2 horses, but, you know, they've got 2 great guys on offense back there. They also have a great offensive line, defensive line, and you saw that tonight. They're just really a complete football team, and I don't think it was a case that Genoa came out ready, Steve. I think it's exactly like you said. They started off slow, and when you're playing from behind against a good team like that, it's hard to come back. Exactly. We got 7 bouts tonight. The main event's 12 rounds, but Wilson, Little, and Tucker are all from Toledo. So this is a great way to get local boxers spotlighted. And this is the biggest event in boxing in Toledo in a little while now. So this is huge. And also you mentioned Mikey's minutes, which I'll let Norm talk a little bit more about. But Bronco McCart, the headlining fight out of Monroe, Michigan, he actually knew Mikey, and that was a big deal to get that as part of the big sponsors for this event.
When we look at this one, I'm excited in particular about this one. Bowling Green coming in 11-9, 8-4 in the league, but they're 4 points from being undefeated within the league. And when you look at them, you look at the big ticket for them, and that's Vito Brown coming in averaging 24-13.
Exactly. He's bound for Wisconsin next year, obviously leading the league in scoring and rebounding. But another thing with the Bobcats, Steve, they've won 3 in a row. They had a couple of close ones against Anthony Wayne and Napoleon, so that's huge. They're riding this one on a lot of momentum tonight, so it'll be interesting to see how he does because Mommy's got some size in the post. Exactly. You know, both of those guys like to get up and down. They're both playmakers. They both shoot the ball really well. This game tonight, I think we're going to see a fast-paced. Rossford likes to play at an up-tempo style. So does Lakes. They like to get their shots in good spots and their shooters in good spots. So keep an eye on those two for sure. But those two guys are definitely the ones that lead the charge.
When we look at the Rossford Bulldogs, we've seen flashes of brilliance from them all year, and they're led by the Mac attack in Mac Miller and Derek Mack. Both guys can fill up a stat sheet pretty quick.
They both can, and the thing about both of those guys is they know how to get their shot when they need it. We saw down the stretch in that Otsego game, both of those guys hit big shots to take that game into overtime. Unfortunately, they came up on the short end of the stick, but tonight I really think the X factor is going to be in the post. That is an advantage that Lake has from a size standpoint, but keep an eye on Hector Aguirre and Nate Childress. Childress was a big X factor down the stretch against the Otsego Knights, and they're going to need to rebound the ball well tonight against Lake to keep this thing close. We welcome you back. Nice behind the back move that time for Bowen. Gets the pump fake and gets it up at him. Doing it all that time. 24 points now for Connor Bowen. 67-50. Lake on top. Rossford got to put together something quickly here.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when everything's working, it's working. And
there's Burks going up and in, and he knocks it down.
Yeah.
Well, but if you do look back to the first quarter, and even in the second quarter, there were a lot of close-in bunnies that the Bulldogs missed underneath the basket. They've been doing a better job here in the second half of getting it in the paint on the dribble penetration and to the big fellas, and it's worked out for them to close the gap. But there were some close-in little bunnies that they did miss in that first quarter that came back to beat them a little bit. But give credit to the Lake Flyers. They've been shooting the heck out of the basketball tonight. 5 for 7 in the first quarter alone. They had 15 points from the three-point line, 24 in the first half, and Rossford had 28 as a team in the first half.
Really, truthfully, when Lake is on fire and it's going that well, it makes it real tough to play your game against them. And the game to beat the Flyers is get your big guys involved.
And here's Mac Miller again on the drive. He'll have a chance to cash in for 3 points.
Daddy's got to be proud, I'll tell you what. Mac's playing a heck of a game tonight, and he's putting his team on his back. He wants this so bad, and playing real well. 14
points now for Mac Miller. Really coming alive here in the second half. Make it 15 now. He's just been on fire. Only 3 points in the first half. Doing work here in the second. As Rossford tries to bring the pressure. Derek Mack almost comes away with the steal.
He does.
And they get the turnover as they trap Brandon Neal in the corner. So the Bulldogs now, still a lot of time left in this one. 3-12, only down by 13. But the one thing they've got beat on is that backdoor cut by Mr. Cody Witt.
Yeah, you need to score right here, and you need to stop them the next 2 or 3 times down.
Neese with a deep three, but he fills it up. Doing a good job defensively, and that time comes up with a big three-pointer to make it a 10-point game. Under 3 to play now in the fourth quarter. And Mac Miller now on Connor Bowen. Bowen beats him, gets to the hoop, and scores. Connor Bowen now with 27 on the evening. It's Mac Miller going the other way. Crossover, gets it to Derek Mack. Neese swings it back around to Mac Miller. Miller hoists a three, and he's feeling it. And we're going to get a quick timeout for Brian Borst. It's a 9-point game now, 70-61. Mac Miller on fire here in the second half. 15 points for the Flyers. Hasn't been that way since the first half. 2:28 to go. The Bulldogs bringing full court pressure now. Here's Connor Bowen beating the pressure.
Whoa.
Coda Sinclair trying to come away with the steal. Fans want to foul. Here's Jared Reddick, a corner three. That one's short, but Brandon Neal comes away with the board, and we're going to get a foul on the floor, so it's going to be a 1-and-1 for Mr. Neal from the free throw line.
Coach Bowen is beside himself right now. Connor about got his arm ripped off on that, and no foul. And
well, it's been a little shaky tonight. You know, I try not to harp on the officials. I did it when I was a 14-year-old kid as a freshman in high school in CYO, and I tell you, those parents were some of the most vicious human beings on the planet. If you think your job is tough, just go ref CYO games for $4 a game and tell me how much you want to go back to your day job. Gets a little scary after math on the weekends, folks. So I try not to ride the officials, you know, and tonight I think they've done a pretty good job of letting them play, but there have been a couple of contact calls where they've let it go and then they've called it, and that's where the testosterone starts to flare a little bit when you got talking about these teenage boys out here. You got to be consistent on the physical calls. Either call them or don't call them. Dump down pass to Eric Davis. Davis on the pump fake, and we're going to get a foul.
Well, the line stopped the clock. What else could you want if you're a Bulldog fan with 2:02 left?
So Davis, one of the defensive specialists for the Bulldogs, will go to the free throw line, and he'll have an opportunity to make this a 7-point ball game. And he's going to get 2. First one's up. That one goes off the back iron and in and out. 2:02 left to go here. Once again, make sure you check us out at www.toledosportsnetwork.com. Lots of archive games there. Facebook.com/Toledo Sports Network. And on Twitter at Toledo Sports NW. And by the way, we're on YouTube as well. 70-62. Davis splits the pair. And we're going to get a foul on Brian Burks this time. Rossford fans wanted a push-off. So Brandon Neal is going to get to the free throw line again. Quieter game tonight, 5 points. But doing work here now towards the end. Trying to cash in from the free throw line. He missed the first of the one-on-one on the last time. Let's see what he can do here. This one goes up, and that one's off the back iron.
Oh.
Burks comes away with the rebound, but we're going to get a foul on Jared Reddig. They both went up for it. Reddig goes into Burks trying to get the rebound, and now Jared Reddig's going to go to the bench. He's got 5 fouls, so he's donezo for the night. And he's unhappy about that one. 1:55 to go, so that's huge if you're a Rossford fan. Here's Mac Miller with it. Looking for some help, gets it to Burks. Burks gets it to Neese. Neese steps into it, and Neese hits that. Another three-pointer from Ryan Neese. And it's 70-65 as the place goes nuts. The Rossford fans at their feet. We got a timeout. Don't go anywhere, folks. He's got 8 points now, saying, I do a lot of favors for you, don't I? Doing work on defense. He's got 8 now offensively. A couple big threes here in the fourth, and it's 70-65. The Flyers on top. Neal beats the pressure, gets it to Jacob Reddig, and Lake going to look to hold it here.
Oh, my.
And the Bulldogs come up with a steal. Transition, Derek Mack goes up and gets it in. And it's 70-67.
Oh, my goodness.
The Bulldogs coming back from 18 down at halftime. Connor Bowen loses it now, and it goes off of Brian Bergs. Holy shnikes.
Wow.
Rossford coming up with almost another steal, and this is definitely what you don't want to see if you're either team. Derek Miller coming up, or excuse me, Derek Mack coming up limping a little bit. The back of his left knee, it looks like he's holding. And I don't know if he's going to try to stay in the game or not.
He's going to stay in the game. He ain't going nowhere.
He's going to try to stay in the game in this one, but he's really limping right now. Brian Vorse is going to leave him out there.
No, he's got...
And here come the Flyers. And now Mac Miller goes down, and it looks like he turned his ankle.
Oh.
So 2 of your top scorers right now got some leg issues going on. We get a quick timeout, it looks like. And we welcome you back here to Lake Community Stadium. Another edition of high school football presented by Toledo Sports Network. I'm Mike Bauman, joined by Pat Eakin and the Lake Flyers. Still on the drive here. It's 3rd down, and that time looked like a little miscommunication from Reddig and his receiver. So it is going to be 4th and 7 from the 43, and the punt team is going to come on the field for the Flyers. They got on the board twice in the first quarter. One on the legs of Nick Walsh, and the other one on a touchdown pass from 20 yards out from Joel Denzik.
Well, you know, we saw a rare 3rd down there by Lake, and now we're seeing their first punt. I don't know if this is a sign of things to come here, but, you know, we're seeing 2 defenses that are starting to hold up all of a sudden.
And that's a high snap that time, but Jacob Reddig is able to rein it in, and it takes a little bit of a Rossford bounce before the Lake Flyers, Nick DeLauder, downs it at about the 40-yard line. So it's going to be a nice field position spot for the Rossford Bulldogs, who are going to try to bounce back after a tough turnover after a big pass play to Lasevich deep into Lake territory. So with 11:48 to go here in the second quarter, the Rossford Bulldogs will take over on their own 40-yard line, 1st and 10. And here's John Allen in the shotgun. And this time, he keeps it himself again, and nothing doing that time. A big hit that time from number 55, Lucas Lombardo, blowing up John Allen that time. Good read by the Lake defense. And they're no strangers to tackling people, as we said, Pat. 18 points per game they're giving up this year, and that's a little inflated by the 40-plus that Genoa put up on them a couple weeks ago. This is a tough defense, one of the most improved defenses in the area compared to last season and the seasons past for the Lake Flyers. So here is 2nd and 12 for the Rossford Bulldogs, and going deep. And that time, John Allen is looking for Lasevich again.
Reddick almost had a beat on that.
And Reddick looked like he was coming in either for the stick or the pick, and it just sails over both of their heads by a couple of inches. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 12 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, we're seeing two defenses up to the task all of a sudden here. We're talking about an offensive game, and then we're saying, well, which defense is going to pull up better? Well, now both offenses are struggling. We're not even seeing first downs.
So here we go, 3rd and 12 for the Rossford Bulldogs from their own 38-yard line. Here's Allen out of the shotgun again, and on the bubble screen that time, it is in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. And I believe that was Asmus was the intended receiver that time, so the Lake Flyers get a good defensive stand and force the Rossford Bulldogs into a punting situation.
We've had 2 straight 3-and-outs.
So here's Asmus back for the Flyers, for the Bulldogs. And here's the punt, and it's a decent kick. And it's going to take a nice Rossford bounce all the way down, still rolling. And it is going to go down inside the 10, so a huge boot that time from Asmus to pin the Lake Flyers back deep. And, out here in Millbury, Pat, the wind can sometimes be your friend or your enemy depending on what side of the field you're driving to. And that time, Asmus gets a nice kick and a little help from Mother Nature, too, it looked like. It was a little windy down there in the open, and that time, nice kick.
Nice little bit from the wind, a little bit from the turf, 50-plus yards from the line of scrimmage. Nice punt, nice roll. That's the way you do it.
So the Lake Flyers are going to start this drive at their own 8-yard line with 10:50 to go here in the second quarter. Here's Reddick in the shotgun again. And it looks like he's got Marcel Bryan back there with him, and he hands it to Walsh on the double handoff. Had me faked out there for a minute.
Yeah, it was kind of a counter again. A little bit wing T is throwing here a little bit.
And Nick Walsh picks up about 8 yards on the first down play.
And again, I think one thing we're seeing here is that Rossford's having a hard time tackling. They're getting fooled a little bit too. Lake's not having trouble tackling so much as Rossford is. They've shown some, except for that first drive.
So here's Reddick out of the shotgun, and this time he hands it off to Brandon Short. Brandon Short still on his feet, finds the seam, makes another man miss, and he gets out across the 30 before he's finally brought down by number 81, Nate Childress of the Bulldogs. And that time, Brandon Short, who's kind of more of the power back out of this Lake offense, showing his moves that time, Pat.
Yeah, he slid right by 2 defenders, just kind of did a quick move and shuffled his feet and threw out his almost not really a stiff arm, but just kind of swept him right past him. And, you're right. He's the fullback, that, type of guy, but he showed some moves.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line for the Lake Flyers. Here's Reddick with 2 men out to his left, 1 man out to his right. And he looks to his left, and he finds Duncan, and Duncan comes in across the middle, and he gets brought down across the 40. And we have a flag coming in during the reception.
That's a hold on Lake. We're going to take this one back from where that flag is, 10 yards.
So a nice pass play is going to be negated on the hold. And that's going to put Lake all the way back inside the 30-yard line. So a couple of penalties from both teams here. And here's the Lake Flyers with a tough break that time, starting deep in their territory already and getting pushed back by a penalty.
Well, it's kind of, right now we're seeing, we thought we'd see 2 offenses moving down the field, but we're just kind of getting nowhere fast on offense right now.
So here's Reddick again. He's got Walsh in motion, and he's looking deep. And he's got Nick Walsh in the flats, and Flats cuts back across the field, makes another man miss. Oh, and he just trucked number 21, Andrew Steer. Got a face full of Nick Walsh that time. Wow.
But you know what? Steer took him down.
Steer
took him down. And
he
Steer,
did, but that was a tough hit.
Steer gets the tackle, and he took him down, yeah. And, he got run over, but, he took it. And he took what he had to take to bring him to the ground. And an open field, that's a credit to Steer.
So Nick Walsh that time lowers the boom and picks up a first down for the Lake Flyers at their own 47. And here's Reddick again looking, and he finds Walsh again in the flats. Walsh makes another man miss, and he picks up the first down. So Nick Walsh doing some dirty work out on the edges of the field tonight, Pat. He's been able to get open in the flats. And I think that's a lot of the attention given to Reddick back there. And some of those defensive backs aren't keying up on the receivers out in the flats.
Well, they're opening it up a little bit, and maybe that's what they need to do because, the offense was not.
And here's Marcel Bryan again. He's still on his feet. And he gets out across the 20. So as we're talking about opening it up, the Lake Flyers keep it old school, keeping the football on the turf, and Marcel Bryan that time patiently waiting behind his defenders.
It's coming back again.
As you see here. But we're going to get another.
Looks like a holding penalty.
Another holding penalty, so the Flyers continue to shoot themselves in the foot here. Unfortunately, if you're a Lake fan, they're unable to kind of string together a series of good plays here. So 2nd and 27 now.
Second and 20, I believe. No, you're right. You're right. They're taking this back.
So that must have been a block in the back rather than a hold, a 15-yard penalty.
Personal foul, yes.
For the Lake Flyers. So that's going to take them all the way back to the 42-yard line with 8:33 to go here in the second quarter. On the Toledo Sports Network, once again, I'm Mike Bauman, joined by Pat Eakin. We're going to get an opportunity here to say thanks to a few of our sponsors, TAS Electronics, IBW Local 8 Electrical, and UA50 Local Pipe Fitters and Plumbers.
Yeah, just when you think Lake has their offense going, it's just mistakes.
So here we go as the Flyers, after the personal foul, 1st and 27 from their own 42. Here's Reddick. He's looking to his right, and he's got his man Duncan. And Duncan goes across the field, and he gets all the way back down to the 35-yard line of the Rossford Bulldogs. So just like that in one play, the Lake Flyers are able to erase that block in the back.
Yeah, and again, it was Steer who took the bulk of that hit by Duncan on the tackle, but Steer got the job done in open field, or he might have been going for 6.
So it's going to bring up 2nd and 3 after the big hookup from Reddick to Duncan. And here's Reddick with Marcel Bryan in the backfield with him, and he'll hand off to Bryan. Bryan goes around the right side, makes one guy miss, breaks the tackle that time from number 30, Cody Ego. Ran into his own lineman near the line of scrimmage and still stayed on his feet. And he's coming up limping on the sidelines here, so that is not a good sign if you're a Flyers fan. Reddick scrambles out of the pocket. He's been able to find Walsh all night on the wide side of the field. So let's see if this defense of the Rossford Bulldogs has an answer.
And the Bulldogs need to start tackling, too.
1st and 10 from the 25 for Reddick. He's going to look to his left, and he's looking deep, and he's got his man, and that was Walters. Walters caught it. Was he in bounds? And they give it to him. So a 25-yard touchdown pass from Jared Reddick to Todd Walters. And that time he throws it right on the money. And the official took a minute to finally give us the signal upstairs. But Walters was able to get 1 foot down in for the 25-yard touchdown catch. Here's the replay right here as he gathers. Yeah, and boy, that was close.
He's in, though. The one official noted that he pulled it in, had the catch, and the other official got the foot in bounds and give him 6 points.
So here's the extra point, and I don't know if they faked it or if it was just a bad snap, but Reddick runs around the corner for the 2-point conversion. Wow, so just like that, the Lake Flyers make this a 22-7 ball game with 7:06 to go here in the second quarter. Don't go anywhere, folks. Toledo Sports Network football. And we welcome you back to Genoa, where the Comets took care of business tonight over the Fostoria Redmen. 90-58 was your final. And I'm here with Casey Ghost. Casey had a game-high 21 points tonight. And Casey, tonight was really a total team effort. You guys had 5 guys in double figures, but you were really able to get after them defensively and create a lot of turnovers tonight.
Our defense, we switched it up, give them different looks, so they didn't really know what to expect. So we just kept switching it up, and I think it helped us force turnovers.
Now, the previous game, Fostoria beat Mohawk, and they forced 29 turnovers in that game. So what did you guys expect out of them defensively tonight that you were able to capitalize on and take care of the basketball yourselves and not allow that to happen?
It's important because we've been turning it over a lot, and that was what Coach Diebler told us to do. He said limit our turnovers and good things will happen, and that's what happened.
Now, it's the second year in this system. Obviously, you're senior, one of the leaders on this team. How much fun is it to play in this offense where you guys are up and down? Every time you get a rebound, you guys are looking to get out and transition.
It's a lot of fun because we have a lot of roaming. We get free opportunities. It's catch and shoot, and Coach Diebler doesn't care. So as long as you get the ball, you got the option to shoot, and it's fun to play in.
You guys played a couple of tough teams coming to this one. Hopewell, that was a tough one, and then West Allegheny, that was a tough one as well. But you guys still scored a lot of points in that game. How does it feel tonight to just defensively come together the way you guys were and have a team effort defensively tonight and get that up there with your points?
It's a step in the right direction. I think it's a big confidence boost for the whole team, and I think we're going to build off of this and know we can step it up on D.
And you got a big one. You're going to have to do that on Tuesday night. Obviously, one of your rivals in NBC with Lake. They're another team that can score. Also got great guard play. What do you expect that atmosphere to be like in this gym?
I think it's going to be great. It's going to be a jam-packed house, and it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a lot of running, and it's going to be a fun one to watch.
Your final once again, folks, 90-58 here out at Genoa. Casey Ghost, a game-high 21. Keep an eye on this guy on the baseball field as well. We'll be back with more right here on the Toledo Sports Network. Coach, you had 6 guys finish in double figures tonight, and also you guys got it done from the free throw line, 26-33. But what I really noticed as the game went on, too, is your dribble penetration against Genoa. Both of you guys like to get up and down after you get a rebound to go to get the outlet pass, but I really thought that was the difference, so you guys being able to get in the paint and open up some of the spots for your shooters.
Yeah, we told in the second half, our shooters to stay as wide as they could, let Connor do what he does and get to the paint. And find the shooters. And he found a couple shooters, and Jared hit a couple big threes in the corner. But then, to start the second half off, we had really easy looks at for layups. And what happens is you start crashing down on that, and Connor does a good job of just finding our shooters. And when you make them, it makes things a little easier on you.
And we welcome you back here to Genoa, where the Comets were victorious over Fostoria tonight. And, Coach, you mentioned before the game that you guys wanted to play better defense. You guys have been scoring the ball well this year, and you certainly did that tonight against the Redmen. What have you been preaching to your guys through the first couple weeks of the season that was able to translate tonight against Fostoria?
Well, we get a lot of criticism from people for full court pressing at the beginning of the year, but throughout my coaching career, that's the way we start things. And then when we get into league play, I tell the kids we become a chameleon and kind of mix up our defenses. And I thought tonight the kids did a real good job of disguising what we were in and confusing them a little bit. And, the results were evident. We played pretty good D.
And this team against Mohawk, Fostoria forced 29 turnovers, but defensively tonight, they weren't able to do that to you guys. I mean, it was a really good team effort in terms of taking care of the basketball.
Well, in defense of Rick and how he coaches, he's an outstanding coach. Playing a Tuesday night game and coming back tonight with one day of preparation has got to be difficult for him. And I know we'll see a different team the next time we play him because he does such a great job. But I thought the key tonight was the fact that we took care of the basketball, and I told you that at the beginning of the game. We need to value possessions, box out, and go at it that way.
Well, I think what's going to make it difficult to guard you guys as well is not only do you have this up-tempo style, but you have a lot of guys who can shoot the ball from deep. Is that going to be one of the things that can make you guys a difficult team to defend this year, because really inside out, it's pretty hard to stay off your guys on the perimeter because you've got so many people who can shoot it.
Yeah, and we've got some guys that can play inside. Noah got double figures again tonight. He's a scorer inside, and he can come out. We've got a lot of multiple positions that we can play, and that makes us effective. And we got guys come off the bench that can score deep. And when we share the basketball, we're pretty tough.
Well, thanks again, Coach, for joining us. Thanks again for the victory tonight. Keith Diebler, everybody. Keep an eye on the comments this season of the NBC here on the Toledo Sports Network.